so facing the real pain is really difficult. Is it as simple as just simply saying, Jenny tells Jenny, I'm going to do this? Is it as simple as that? And then when you're in it, is there anything that you can do to help unblock, help? Yeah.
Certainly. We'll talk about that in a lot of detail over the next couple of days, actually. Right. In answer to your first question, though, how many of you have told yourself you want to be happy? How many of you are actually happy all the time? So does telling yourself anything really work? Now, I know that might sound pretty basic, right? But isn't it true? Like, if you intellectually tell yourself something, it doesn't actually mean anything to the soul. Because it's the emotions that are governing everything that's happening within you. Right? So how are you going to be happy? The only way is for every single emotion inside of you that is unhappy to be out of you. Isn't it? How does it get out of you? Yeah, it's not writing them down on a piece of paper, screwing it up, throwing it in the fire and saying,
I release you.
It's not that. That does not work.
But you don't always know why you're blocked up. You know, you don't always know.
Yeah, I realise that. Yeah. Like I was totally clueless this week. I'm totally clueless a lot of the time, really. Let's look at the reasons for the blocks. All right, the denials. Right. Now, there's a few things. This comes from. I think I had page 67 on the Homecoming book of John Bradshaw. By the way, the book John Bradshaw is very, very good for dealing. That John Bradshaw wrote called Homecoming is very, very good for working through emotional pain from childhood. All right. Anyway, this is what he said about denial. Well, he's actually said there's lots of forms of denial, right? So we'll just rub that off, and we'll just put on these different forms. There's denial, which is, it's not really happening. You see this a lot when this began when we were children. The child just hurt its foot in pain. Comes up to mummy crying. Mummy puts the child on her breast, taps the back, says, there, you don't need to cry, it wasn't that bad. Right? So what's that? It's not really what you feel it is. And that's where a lot of this begins, right? How many times do you do that in your life? Like, you have a feeling that, hang on a sec, my husband's disconnected from me today.
Oh, it's probably just my imagination.
It's probably just my imagination, yeah. It's probably not really happening. Repression, he defines as it never happens. Very big thing with childhood abuse of all types, but particularly childhood sexual abuse, is complete repression. It never happened to me. My whole life is showing to me that it actually happened to me, but it never happened to me. Overseas, I was talking to a lot of people who've been abused as children, and often it began with, it never happened to me. And then after they started dealing with different emotions, all of the memories started flowing back of it actually happening to them. But before then, the only proof they had it happen to them was their law of attraction. And they didn't trust their law of attraction. Right? So if your law of attraction is telling you that you've been abused as a child, you've been abused as a child. Whether you remember it or not. It's immaterial. You've been abused as a child. Or your mother has, and the emotion has entered you, or your father has and that emotion has entered you.
So, Jen, how do you know that that's not one of these spirits coming to dump their stuff on you and give you this past life experience?
A spirit will only come and dump their stuff on you if they're attracted to you. Why are they attracted to you? Why would a spirit who's, say, been abused as a child come to you? Because they feel the same emotion inside of you. That's the law of attraction is at work perfectly in every case. So even if it is a spirit influencing you, then there is something inside of you that caused that attraction. So don't be afraid of spirit attractions. They're great. They tell you exactly what's going on inside of you. Right? They're attracted to you for a reason. Yeah? Right.
How can you tell if that has happened, that you have attracted a spirit? What do you notice?
The truth is that all of you attract in a day many spirits. Some of them will stay with you because they feel a deep rapport with you. They feel an attraction to you based on the emotions that you are feeling inside of yourself that you're probably not conscious of, but they're there inside of yourself. So you don't need to worry about it, even if it is happening. The key is deal with the emotions inside of yourself that cause it to happen. Right? Yeah. So there's lots of ways to tell, I suppose you could say. You know, if thoughts just pop into your mind all the time that are along your emotional injury line, then sometimes those thoughts are going to be coming from spirits. But if, in the end, they can't drop a thought into your mind without you already being resonant with it. Right? So there must already be a seed inside of yourself that has that attraction. You follow me?
AJ, can they deplete your energy? Can they actually take your energy field?
Oh, totally, yes. But the only way that can again happen is because you are not dealing with an emotion that caused the attraction. Then they connect to you, and then they can certainly deplete your energy in that particular part of your body. So lots of cancers, for example, particularly childhood cancers, are caused by spirit attachment. Right? Spirit attachment is one of the largest causes of disease on earth today.
Wow.
Right? But how can the spirit attachment occur? Because the emotion inside of you attracts them. Right? Now, I think last week I mentioned the lady in Greece who had diabetes, I think. Yeah, for those who were here. So she had diabetes 17 years through a spirit attachment. But her emotion caused the attraction. All right? So once we talked to the spirit and got the spirit to move on, she still needed to deal with that emotion. Because if she doesn't, what's going to happen? Another spirit will come back and find that injury and attach.
So can you see if that's happening in somebody?
Certainly, almost anyone can see if it's happening. You can even ask yourself. Lay yourself down on a table, hang a pendulum over the top of your was it third chakra? And ask yourself. The pendulum will rotate in the clockwise direction if you're telling the truth, and it will stop rotating if you're not. Do all of you know this? No.